Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, my dear students. We are going to now to study first part of Unit 7, all about sports. One of us, we like football, we like basketball. Sports are important in our life. So, some question for you. Do you often watch or play basketball or tennis? When and where do you think these sports were first played? شوف الأماكن والتاريخ بالظبط اللي هي اتلعبت فيها الألعاب دي لأول مرة. Sports history تاريخ الرياضة. Now you should read silently. Then we have to complete this sentence exercise number 3 by using the red words. By using the red words in the comprehension passage. Okay, some experts believe that tennis was the first an Egyptian sport because the word racket is very similar to the Arabic word rahat or hands. Raha or hands. Other people believe that it was invented by the French in the 11th or 12th century. By 13th century, there were as many as 1,800 indoor courts, so people didn't have to wait for good weather in order to play. In those days, players had to hit the ball with their hands. By 1500 BC AD, the game was played with a wooden racket. Now let's move to another one about the basketball. The first tennis balls were made leather and filled with horsehair wool. Today, tennis balls are rubber and have measured from 6.54 to 7.3 centimeters across the middle and weigh 56 to 59.49 grams. Basketball was invented in 1891 by Canadian PE teacher James Nathmes. In that year, he thought, I must find a new sport for my students to play in winter because it's too cold to play outside. We played inside in any weather. This is a new game. Nathmes tied two basketballs to the balls at each one of the court, and a player had to throw a ball into the basket in order to score. At first, before the bottoms of the baskets were cut off, a player had to take the ball out of the basket after he or she scored. The game is now popular, although you must practice it every day to be good at it. Now we have some examples here, some questions you should answer. Places where tennis or basketball match is played, so it will be courts. What you need to do when you win a sports game? The answer is score. Inside the building mean indoor. We have some more question about the comprehension. You can read and answer it very carefully. You have 5 minutes to get the answer. Answer free. Now let's move to lesson number 2 about necessity, obligation and necessity. Okay, obligation and necessity. الإلزام. عندنا حاجة النهاردة اسمها الإلزام، يعني حاجة لازم أعملها في نصيحة، حاجة مش ممكن إن أنا مجبر إن أنا أعملها. Now let's underline the verbs. In those days players had to, so it will be had to hit. Today tennis ball have to weigh, must. So it will be have to, had to, must, mustn't for obligation. We use have to, has to talk about rules, things or other people say are necessary. We have to go to school time. She has to get a passport. We use don't or doesn't have to talk about things that are not necessary. So she doesn't have to hurry. She isn't late for school. بنستخدم don't have و doesn't have مع حاجات غير ضرورية أو حاجات غير إلزامية، زي ما خدنا في المثال الأولاني، زي قلنا must و had to و have to. نستخدم الحاجات الأساسية اللي لازم أعملها. The past symbol of the word had to, which is the same for all subjects. I couldn't go to the park yesterday because I had to finish my work. The negative of the past symbol did not or didn't have to plus infinitive. We didn't have to do a computer studies when we were at primary school. Make a question. How long Did you have to wait until the bus arrived? We use must or wasn't for forbidden things، حاجات ممنوعة. You must see a doctor. You must see a doctor. You will you have been ill for a week. But mustn't بستخدم قصدي كلمة mustn't بستخدمها في الممنوع. He mustn't park here. It's against the law. Now let's complete our grammar text. Okay, with this one. Okay, look at this one. We have to, must have to, has to plus infinitive. We have to go to school on time. She has to get a passport to travel to London. You must see a doctor. And with necessary, it's necessary or obligatory for, or to plus infinitive. It's necessary for them to go to school on time. It's necessary for her to get a passport. We don't have to, doesn't have to, plus infinitive. Don't or doesn't need to plus infinitive, and needing to plus infinitive. She doesn't hurry. She doesn't have to hurry. She isn't late. They don't have to buy bread if there is much in the fridge. And also it's necessary for, it's necessary to, and necessary for. It's necessary for her to hurry. It's necessary for them to buy. We have do and does in the question. Does he have to buy a book? And we have to, I had to. I had to do my homework, so I couldn't go out. She had to go shopping. Didn't have to. He didn't have to write an email. It was necessary to write an email. Dina didn't have to cook lunch. It was necessary for to cook lunch. In the question, you did have to. Did they have to take the money? Did Ali to have to sell his car? Was it necessary for? Now let's move to mustn't. Mustn't, not allowed, forbidden, prohibited, against the law. كل ده بمعنى المنع، ممنوع. You mustn't bark here. It's not allowed to bark here. It's against the law to bark here. It is forbidden to bark here. It's prohibited to bark here. Thank you guys. See you next time. Bye.